Hey, what's up guys? Today, I'll show you a supernatural horror film, The Tag-Along Part 2. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins in 2014 at Daking Hill. Three loggers and their boss are illegally cutting trees in Daking. The boss then leaves to relieve himself, while the three loggers discover a grave. They dig it up and are shocked to see a giant talisman covering a corpse in a webby cocoon shell. Meanwhile, the boss encounters a large death-faced hawkmoth on a tree. Then a voice calls his full name. Afterward, he returns to the logging site, only to find his men gone, so he decides to leave by car. But the giant talisman floating by itself catches him off guard. Because of the three loggers' greed for money, they obliviously awaken the little girl in a red dress from her grave. The red girl has killed the boss and the loggers after her release. Since her return, she also captures Ms. Selfish, Wei and his grandma, Uncle Psychic, and more in 2 years, as it's shown in the first episode. It's 2016, and the social worker, Shufan, and her co-worker visit an apartment building to address the reported alleged abuse in the house of a troubled mother, May, who's apparently been keeping her daughter for a year now, according to the neighbors. The landlord speculates that May has gone insane, so they contact the two social workers to investigate. Shufan meets May not long after. She has unique Chinese enchantment tattoos, and her apartment is filled with family photos. Shufan asks when's the last time May saw her daughter, and May answers last week, which is an opposite answer from the neighbor's story. In the living room, there's a small pair of shoes and an unfinished bowl of cereal in front of the small door. Shufan barges behind the small door, only to see a child's bed beneath an altar occupied by candles, an engraved enchantment on the floor, and a running television. Across the room, three covered statues stand, and Shufan unveils them one by one, until May's daughter appears with drawn enchantments all over her body. Later, Shufan's at home with her own daughter, who she discovers pregnant. Upset, she brings her to the clinic for an abortion. En route, Shufan wants to blame her daughter's old boyfriend for impregnating her at a young age, but the daughter shouts at her mother for she's too bossy. At the clinic, the doctor assures them that abortion is quick and safe, but the daughter protests why she has no decision over her child. Shufan reminds her that she has the right to decide for her because she's still a minor. But the daughter persistently brings up about her mother's early pregnancy to her, asking if she lets someone make the decision for her. The doctor hears their conversation and suggests finalizing together the decision first before proceeding with the abortion. Afterward, Shufan brings her daughter to school. She claims she only wants her life not to be ruined by an unwanted child, but the daughter just thinks that she ruined her mother's life because she's born too early into the world. She angrily leaves and goes to school. Shufan then visits May's daughter in the nursery room at her workplace and finds her drawing letters on her hand. She tells Shufan that her life's in danger if she's outside and wishes to go home with her mother. In the parking lot, Shufan converses with her co-worker on the phone. She's determined to separate the girl from her mother because she speculates that May suffers from persecutory delusions. However, according to the doctor, the girl is free from signs of abuse because she's healthy and well-nourished. Still, she recounts May's action of locking up a child for a year while making her a board for symbols. She's about to leave, but May is waiting for her in the parking lot. May pleads to let her take her daughter home, but Shufan insists on keeping the girl away. May tells her that it's a complex reason to confine her daughter at home, but Shufan doesn't listen to her, insists she's only doing her job. It's nighttime, and Shufan just learns that her daughter has gone home alone without her bag. So she rushes home, but only to see her apartment empty. She calls her daughter's classmate to ask for her daughter's whereabouts, but the classmate says that she hasn't seen her daughter since afternoon. The following day, Shufan arrives at Fuda Temple to meet her daughter's boyfriend, Chun. She witnesses people praising and summoning inside Chun's body the Tiger Master, a spirit for auspice. After the summoning, Shufan confronts Chun if he's keeping her daughter from her. But unfortunately, he is unaware of where her daughter is because she's been avoiding him for 2 weeks already. Sadly, Shufan has to rely on the local rescue team to find her daughter, who has already been missing for 6 to 4 hours. Then Chun accompanies Shufan to the surveillance system, where they find the daughter is last seen at the entrance of the footpath to the abandoned hospital. In the footage, the mysterious red girl is seen leading the daughter away from the school. The rescue team doesn't waste time, and they immediately search the south footpath of Daking Hill. According to the rescue captain, ghost sightings have become rampant in the mountain after the incident in a theme park that occurred more than 10 years ago. The rescue team concludes the search to clean when suddenly the Tiger Master leads its followers to search for Shufan's daughter. They arrive near the abandoned hospital, where the Tiger Master finds the daughter's one sneaker. Afterward, the Tiger Master writes a warning on the dirt, telling people not to go any further for it's the demon's territory. However, Shufan sees her daughter peeking from the hospital's broken window. so she checks it out and sees her daughter's phone blinking across the floor. She rushes inside to pick up the phone when suddenly a silhouette keeps appearing behind her. Shufin assumes it's her daughter, but when she follows it, she finds a ragged pregnant woman eating raw insects. However, the pregnant woman gags upon seeing her food when suddenly a sharp pain strikes her in her stomach. Luckily, the rescue team arrives in time and brings the pregnant woman to safety. Shufin is at the city hospital, trying to unlock her daughter's phone, but to no avail. Then the daughter's phone receives a phone call from Chun. Chun thinks it's his girlfriend, but it's Shufin, who breaks down because her daughter's missing in the mountains. However, Chun assures her that they're going to bring home her daughter. Shortly, Shufin is delivered with documents, showing her some information about the pregnant woman, who is the reporter. It shows the reporter's boyfriend, Wei, and his grandma died after being captured in the same cursed mountains. The co-worker finds it odd that they were residents from other areas, but their bodies were found in Daking. Meanwhile, the reporter recalls giving birth to a dead and premature baby in the ambulance earlier. Then Shufin visits her to ask if she has seen her daughter, but the reporter denies it. Still, Shufin asks what she was doing in the hospital. However, the reporter can't seem to remember the place. The reporter requests to see her family. Shufin tells her that her family is already dead, but the reporter refuses to believe their deaths. The following day, the reporter visits Wei and his grandma's tombs located in the cursed mountains. While waiting for the reporter, Shufin stays in her car. She notices the words, "Be good," from the mother-daughter sticker on the car and inputs them into her daughter's phone, and the phone finally unlocks. It shows the last video recorded by her daughter, showing herself standing while capturing Shufin's figure peeking in the window, and the voice in the background is Chun's grandfather, a shaman, delivering to everyone the Tiger Master's warning. The reporter eventually returns with the belongings left by her boyfriend's grandma. Shufin then shows her daughter's video, and the reporter recognizes the place from her prenatal visit. Shufin says it's impossible to receive service in an abandoned hospital for 15 years. Eventually, the reporter remembers seeing Shufin's daughter crying in the bathroom stall because her mother wanted her baby to be aborted. At the Fuda Temple, the shaman learns from the god of land that Shufin's daughter is trapped in the demon's territory. At the city, Shufin offers the reporter to stay in her apartment for the meantime, and while they're together, Shufin asks for her assistance to search for her daughter. It's nighttime and Shufin is at home. The front door and the automated hall lights unexpectedly open by themselves, but when Shufin surveys the area, no one's there. Just then, Shufin sees a girl crying in her bedroom, and when she faces her, it's her younger self asking what to do because she's pregnant at a young age. The hall light reopens, and her younger self disappears when suddenly the red girl scares her. Shufin wakes up in the dining room, relieved that what she saw is just a dream. The following day, Shufin visits Fuda Temple to ask for the Tiger Master's help. The shaman performs and recites a summoning ritual for the Tiger Master to take over Chun's body. Afterward, the shaman burns a stick as a time indication of the Tiger Master's negotiation with the red girl. Meanwhile, the reporter wakes up from sleep in Shufin's daughter's bedroom. She browses the old newspapers about the people who died from the red girl in the cursed mountains, and the last page has the printed copy of a Chinese talisman. Suddenly, the mirror shatters, the piano plays by itself, and more documents drop on the floor. The reporter picks up the document when suddenly a red hawk moth flies past her, indicating that the red girl is inside the house in the form of Wei. At the Fuda Temple, the stick is burned. The Tiger Master writes something on the sands and leaves Chun's body. The shaman insults the red girl for not facing them. Suddenly, the red girl possesses the shaman to say she wants her mother. Chun asks where her mother is, and the red girl points at Shufin. The shaman faints as the red girl leaves his body. Shufin rushes home to save the reporter, but she's gone. She sees the printed Chinese talisman and remembers Mei, so she visits Mei and sees a similar printed copy on Mei's door. Then Mei invites Shufin inside, where talisman banners are hung on the wall and behind the door to ward off demons. Mei guesses that someone's missing from Shufin's family, for she saw the red girl on the day Shufin's daughter went missing. Suddenly, a knock is on the door, and they open it to see the red girl inside the reporter's body. Mei allows her to enter by removing the talismans in front of the house. Shufin hides in a bedroom while Mei fights the red girl with her enchantment tattoos. The red girl, pinned on the talisman banner, shouts as the power of incantation traps her. However, she manages to levitate a chair and throws it at Mei before escaping. The red girl shatters every photo frame on the wall and then strangles Mei from behind, but Mei quickly wards her off with enchantment tattoos. After the fight, the reporter is back to herself, asking why she's always the target. Mei explains that the reporter's inability to let go of her obsession makes her vulnerable to temptation. Technically, the reporter should be dead already, but her baby is sacrificed for her to be saved. Then Shufin concludes that the red girl is indeed looking for the reporter to be her mother. However, Mei answers that she's the red girl's mother. May stares at a broken picture of her and a girl and reveals the origin of the Red Girl. It turns out May's first daughter died 18 years ago on a ride at the theme park. May performed a ritual to resurrect her daughter, for she couldn't accept her death. She dressed up her daughter in red clothes, buried her, and poured fresh blood every day. Thanks to that, her first daughter woke up on the 7th day of her death, but turned into a demon, so May ran away from her daughter. Soon after, the Red Girl became famous through news reports after allegedly killing a hiker. The demon inside the Red Girl prompted her to capture people, so May had to find a way to finish her. May stained the red dress with her blood to lure the Red Girl out. The Red Girl heard and approached her, when suddenly May captured her by wrapping her in a big talisman. The Red Girl screamed in pain as the enchantment vanquished her. The reason why May hides her second daughter up is because someone later released the Red Girl from the grave, which was accidentally done by the 3 loggers shown in the beginning. Back to the present, the reporter attacks May after learning the story and begs for a way to terminate the evil Red Girl. So the 3 women travel to the park to offer May to the Red Girl. Shufan calls Chun to inform him of their plan. However, the phone service starts to lose, so they agree to meet in the park. Meanwhile, the shaman wakes up and Chun recounts to him what happened. However, the shaman gets mad at Chun for falling for the Red Girl's trick, telling him never to trust the demon's words without the Tiger Master, for it must be planning something devious. Chun tries to contact and warn Shufan about that, but there's no signal as the 3 women reach the Foggy Park. The 3 women finally arrive near the theme park. Before she leaves, May draws an enchantment tattoo first onto the reporter and Shufan's hand, hoping to protect them against the Red Girl. However, the reporter decides to accompany May to the park, so they go together. Unfortunately, the shaman's words prove to be true, for the Red Girl slowly kills May, because she remembers when her own mother killed her. While Chun, on his way to the park, and Shufan waiting in the car, hear May's cry as the Red Girl starts to kill her. Although Shufan is warned earlier to never leave her car, she forgets this after seeing her daughter's figure pass by. The moment Shufan runs to follow her daughter, Chun arrives at the park, only to see Shufan gone. May tells the reporter to protect her daughter before she dies. Chun sees the reporter and asks where Shufan has gone. However, the reporter breaks down, and so Chun takes her to the car and tells the driver to take her back to the city. Chun reaches the abandoned hospital and follows her girlfriend's ghost, but he falls to the lower ground when the ground breaks open. He tries to escape, but the Red Girl impales him onto the wall's metal bar. Meanwhile, Shufan faces her past at the abandoned hospital. It's revealed that Shufan conceived her daughter at a young age, after her ex-lover forced himself on her. She was about to abort the child in the clinic, but changed her mind midway. Just then, the present Shufan carries her daughter's beating fetus. The daughter replaces the younger Shufan on the operating table, and Shufan cries and apologizes because she realizes that she was in her daughter's situation before, but she kept her. Ironically, she doesn't give her daughter a chance to decide for herself. The illusion collapses as Shufan tightly embraces her daughter and sets her free. Meanwhile, after chanting the summoning ritual, Chun transforms into the Tiger Master. He saves Shufan and her daughter from the Mosians, who are imitating the rescue team. He growls at them, causing the Mosians to flee their ghostly asses away. The 3 of them leave the hospital, and the Tiger Master wrestles against the surrounding Mosians, when suddenly the Red Girl possesses Shufan's daughter, who starts giggling, insulting Shufan, and weakening the Tiger Master's power. Back in the city, the reporter brings May's daughter to her house and hides her from the Red Girl. However, the Red Girl imitates way to lure his girlfriend into the virtual world again. The reporter invites him inside and hugs him tight, but the cry of pain turns into a battle cry as she pushes Way into the talisman banner behind the door. However, the Red Girl disappears quickly upon touching the talisman and takes over the reporter's body. The 2 heartful reconciliations occur simultaneously. In the mountains, Shufan repeatedly reminds the possessed girl that she's her daughter, while reminiscing about her daughter's beautiful childhood under her care. The Red Girl evades, but Shufan fights for her daughter's body, embracing her tightly. Meanwhile, May's daughter tells the Red Girl in the reporter's body that she's her kind big sister and their mommy's loving daughter, but never a demon. She ends the Red Girl's suffering by revealing that she was named after her. Just then, the Red Girl finally remembers her real name and recovers the wonderful memories with her mother, May. The Red Girl leaves the reporter's body, and the girl holds her older sister's hand to remind her that their mother never forgot her. The movie ends with the Red Girl turning human-like. Apparently, love and acceptance help free her from the demon inside of her. So the Red Girl heads to the hospital to save the 3 of them. She transforms herself into millions of red hawk moths and explodes into a blinding light, eliminating the Mosians and absorbing the fogs in the mountains. At last, the mountains are finally habitable again. In the future, they dedicate a proper burial for the Red Girl and her mother in a cemetery. The reporter adopts May's daughter, and Shufan accompanies her daughter, who's giving birth to her baby. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.